So you came to the table of Drag Race with those skills, but what did Drag Race pull out of you the first time around?
The first time around, definitely it was like, okay, now if you want to do this as a career, let's start taking this seriously and do it as a career, you know? And I'd like to say that I was really, really ready for it because I had all the ambition and I had all the drive, but I did not have the discipline. And
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, that's where the overnight success comes in because, like, anything that you have not yet addressed, when you get that overnight success, it's like putting
Oh
a
yes.
magnifying glass on you. And then all of those things you haven't really examined about yourself are suddenly so much bigger than they used to feel. And it just puts you in a little bit of a pressure cooker. And when you don't have like kind of the wherewithal to know like how to navigate all of that, you know, for some of us, our worst qualities like flare up. Cut to me now being almost 5 years sober from alcohol. And that was like a big turning point for me. That was
That's
like,
amazing.
you know, that was when I really realized like I need to find joy in the work that I do without any crutch, without any substance to make sure I'm still doing work that I love. And when I kind
Absolutely.
of examined all of that, I made a pact with myself and I alerted everyone like, I only want to really work on the stuff that I believe in from here on out. And I've been, you know, lucky that I've had the opportunities to create work where work that I didn't feel passionate about existed.
No, and one thing that I love about Drag Race that it has kind of hammered home for folks is that it's more than just pretty outfits and stones. And I know there's a lot of critique for the girls who can't sew, but sewing's not everything. So, if especially if you got a little budget or something like that, you can get a girl to sew a
I
dress for
would
you.
love to see the same outrage for when a girl can't deliver a joke. You know, it's
Yes.
like people will read a girl for not like being funny, but they let it slide. But like if she can't sew, it's like, oh, we can talk about for a week. But it's like, God damn it, I can't watch a dress on stage, you know?
No, absolutely. They always say don't rely on that body, don't rely on that face, and don't rely on those clothes because coming up, what I know, the one thing that I know is behind a lot of us as Black folks who watch Drag Race and see the Black and brown queens that come on is coming from Chicago. I worked with a lot of the queens, Shea Coulee. There's
Mhm.
Casey Ortiz. There's a lot Dita Dita Swag. There's a lot of the girls that come from there. And in Chicago, it is a very segregated experience, even within the LGBT community. Like we go to certain bars and they kind of let their DJs know not to play certain type of music so that the crowds don't get a certain type of way or what have you. And you see that these girls, like when we talk about being trans, versus being a cisgender gay person within our community, trans people struggling to find employment, struggling to find opportunities, then to rub those nickels together to find cab fare, makeup, and a dress to put on a show, know you're trying to do those things. So they're in Chicago, where I came from. A lot of the girls, did not make the stage, or they were in these kind of almost like cattle call like shows where there was just like a bunch of people in there. But from that space, what you would see is girls who barely had, they couldn't sew, they didn't really have great outfits, but you could see that they were talented and that they
Mhm.
had something. And that's one thing that I love watching about Drag Race is I love seeing the girls with the pretty outfits and the rhinestones and things like that, but I love seeing what happens when they're putting on a playing field where those things are kind of stripped away and you got to show us something else.